Welcome to the first episode of Villa Gaia Sessions, new podcast that we're launching here from Villa Gaia, Impact Hub for Systemic Change here in Tuscany, Italy, where we're getting together with Gaianet and Fvtura and other key projects in the regenerative systems change ecosystem. I'm here together with Julia Becker and with Giannandrea Giammanco.
Almost.
G, you've been searching around together with your crew for about 1.5 years all across the world for the ideal physical hub to do this. Why? Why do you find it so important?
And what a journey, I would say. Well, I think a lot of us are resonating on the fact that we need physical spaces for collaboration and coordination to thrive, especially after COVID, where after thousands of Zoom calls, we see that we need the human touch to build trust, to build coherence, and also having spaces where it's not just that 1 hour of Zoom call, because collaboration is formed everywhere. It's formed in the kitchen when we prepare those beautiful dishes all together at the table, where we celebrate meals as well, where we go outside. So there's so much more to collaboration, I would say.
Julia, you've been on a mission of regeneration and helping create new systems, new solutions for many years already. And now the flow of life has brought you here. What are you finding here, and why is it so important for you to be here at Villa Gaia and to broadcast what's happening here through this podcast to the world?
That's a great question. Yeah, as you mentioned already, regeneration is my mission, systemic change is my purpose. And so this is what my world has been turning around over all of these years, and including regenerative communities, these kind of spaces with intention and with purpose. And I find all of that as it's at its most valuable essence, really, at Villa Gaia. Because yes, we do live together and we work together, but it is so much more than a co-living or co-working. It really is a hub for impact, for systemic change, and the way we merge personal lives and health routines and mindfulness with really meaningful work and embody collaboration for a purpose is unmatched. I haven't seen that in the world before, so I feel very much at home here.
Yeah. My experience too. We're here now, not even 2 months, and when I call this a pressure cooker, I would say it's an understatement. The amount of progress we achieved over this period simply by sharing space, connecting openly, bringing all of our networks in, our assets, our resources. We had some really interesting guests stay with us for a couple of weeks, some 1 week, some 2 weeks, some longer. Network builders, systems creators. It's a massive accelerator for the thing that we're all working on.
Yeah, absolutely. And also to add on that, one of the things I've noticed by us, we are all part of multiple networks, and with what we have been working on, we have been collaborating with more than 70 networks. And usually the tactic for convergence, it's large gatherings, these big containers with 300 people. And in a way, 3 days, 300 people, does it really accelerate convergence? And that's where having a space where we can invite 10, 15 guests at the time, being in this container for months, allows us to have the time to work with the complexity of the interoperability of system change, as you were saying, because what we're dealing with, it is complex in its nature. So so far, very, very super experience also for me.
Super nice. One of the things I would like to do in this conversation is also clarify some of the terminology we use and that we will be using also in future podcast episodes. Actually, we already recorded 6, 7, 8 amazing conversations often going really deep into topics, sharing deep knowledge of people who've been working in this field for many years. And some of these terms keep coming up. So when we speak about systems change, and maybe Julia, you can give some words to it, what it means for you, systems change.
Systems change. Yeah, I think it is to be understood that we're not here to create a specific solution for one challenge that we see in the world, but that more on a systemic level, it is time to make the old and fraudulent systems obsolete. That we want to come in with a new perspective on collaboration and on building organizations that do good work. Interoperability, for example, is a big topic here, right? Rather than everyone working in their own silos and doing their own thing and recreating the wheel over and over again, we create solutions and we come together, we share data, and we find new ways to truly collaborate and organize that work so we can hold those big visions and bring them into very tangible output and impact.
Beautifully said.
Exactly. Yeah, but G, for you, like if you would contrast the current systems versus the new systems that we're looking to move into, what are some of these contrasts or values of the new systems that we're aiming for?
Certainly, I would say moving from competition into collaboration. So realizing that we need to get together because we are on the same boat, we are on the same sphere, on the same globe. And competition is not bringing us where we want to go in terms of species. If we want to have harmony and peace and thriving, then I would say also convergence. So putting our, in a way, separations aside and say, yeah, we are all different, but we can still converge for a better world. As well as, of course, alignment, as well, aligning of the challenges, aligning of the solutions. But yeah, to me, it's all around the harmony.
Yeah, it's unique times in the world right now. You have this opportunity to come together also through information technology. We have the ability to find the other crazy idealists, like the ones who really get it and who are really working on this. For me, that's a big reason for us to launch this podcast, is to show more to the world of the actual work that's being done to establish sustainable systems change into a set of solution systems that serve all life on Earth, instead of a select few built on regeneration, on sovereignty.
Consciousness, such an important keyword that we give for granted between us. But yeah, consciousness, a new word where decisions are made consciously for the well-being of the people. Of course, elevating the consciousness. Such.
One term we like to use in Gaianet is that we're practicing love in action.
I see you have a T-shirt with love, but I know where it comes from one of the kind guests, Sasha, that donated it for the entire team here, the structure.
Yeah, apparently there are 5,000 of these T-shirts out there, all handed by Sasha.
4,980.
Yeah. So we have them here now, and they're handed out, and it's such a beautiful reminder in like shaping our organizations and the solutions we create, asking ourselves, what would love do? What's the most loving approach to this? And instead of like fear-based, scarcity-minded approach that the current world is mostly based on.
Yeah, and to me that also leads to one of the things that we are doing, that it's unique, and I think we are giving for granted so many things by being immersed in this space, is also blending the boundaries between organizations and saying we are all one, we are all coming all together as one. So yeah, we still have loose terminologies and brands, but in reality we are all working together for the same mission, on the same North Star. And this is also something in a way unique, because so many organizations we have all been working with, they have these thick boundaries, and they say, this is my organization, and everything after, everything outside is different.
Yeah, I think this is what makes Villa Gaia truly special, that we come together here aiming to create this space of point zero, this point of stillness, of non-duality, where opposite can merge into innovation, and where tensions can actually fuel growth, where we create this neutral space where the ego is more integrated and not individuals, organizations show up to be the loudest or the most successful or the most seen, but actually with a true embodied intention of finding the best solution. This is a very special place where true collaboration can take place, and innovation can come from a place of true intelligence, super intelligence, because no one is holding on to their own perspectives or belief systems, but it's just laying it all out there for the best to emerge and then be met by structure. So we create structure for fluidity. Again, we are able to hold these big visions because we are organized enough to meet them there through roles and accountabilities, the way we build organizations, and then funnel them into impact, what we're here for. This field of point zero, as I'm mentioning it, is really special to hold, and it's a paradox in itself, and individuals need to be capable of holding it within themselves, which is the case here, and which can then trickle into the organizations that we're actually building and the impact that we're here for.
It's indeed, it's the embodiment comes first. Yes, we want to accomplish things in the world. Yes, we want to create big organizations that serve a lot of people in a beautiful way. And we understand how energy works, how the universe works, how the human mind works, so that it's not a matter of pushing, but it's a matter of finding, retaining balance. We set as a goal for our stay here at Villa Gaia, because this is our home for the year, and who knows, for longer, that primary goal is to steward the vibe and to have a regenerative space where we feel energized and alive and connected and well rested, and the space should feel like an out breath. And the paradox is that living in this out breath has been the most productive environment I've ever been in.
Yeah. And it's so necessary. I mean, we have all been living in different capitals of the world, and we see how not breathing clean air, drinking clean water, having good food, being able to go for a walk outside and then coming back refreshed and say, in quietness and peace, being able to focus and work. No cars, no noise, no honking, no sirens, sleeping better, eating better. It's so important for peak performance, because that's another thing that, of course, we are coming here. We are coming here to be more performing than if we were scattered in different places of the world, and also being in a safe environment where we are all caring for each other. So if today is not your best day, there's someone else next to you saying, hey, Alex, I carry this stuff. It makes it so much different, because every challenge is halved by the fact that you can share it with people around you, and every celebration is doubled because you have people to celebrate it with. You're not alone in your room, cruising a Zoom call and hurrah.
Yeah, so we have great food here. We have the Phantom here. So if the sun sets here, so talk about celebration. So, okay, taking this forward to what does this mean for the ecosystem? That's the ecosystem that has been forming over the past years, decades in a way. The past years it really accelerated. All these organizations share the same North Star vision of this new paradigm, call it New Earth, call it Regenerative Renaissance, call it new systems. We're all headed that direction, and we share these values, and all these people we meet, they say, like, it doesn't matter how my organization is called, right? It can be called anything. I'm here to serve the collective. I'm here to serve all life. I'm ready to come together. So we find ourselves now in this stage of many organizations, powerful networks holding assets, who have bringing talent, that want to collaborate, that want to come together. And there's this fuzzy in-between state now of, okay, I want to collaborate, right? Now what? We see formations happen, working groups around a regenerative fund. So a way to collectively receive funding and funnel it to the right places in the ecosystem with the highest leverage. We're finding groups around the conscious media collective. We're working on AI hive mind as a way to gather collective intelligence, make sense of it, and coordinate work within and across organizations. Marketplace, tokenized economics. So for all these topics, multiple groups are coming together. Now, where do you see this move from here? And what role do you see for both Villa Gaia and for the podcast Villa Gaia Sessions?
Well, like resonating with everything we were saying, certainly a place of convergence. So a place where we can host the organizations that are working with us, blending with all of us so that we can build trust. Because one of the reasons why there are all these silos is because organizations feel the need of control. But you can only let go that feeling of control if you can trust the other person. Because then I would say, I don't need to control everything because I can rely on Alex, I can rely on Julia, I can rely on all the people that are here for the same objective, for the same mission. And you cannot develop that trust on a Zoom call because you don't know how those persons behave. Like, you need to see me in my best mood and in my worst mood in order to say, okay, now I can gauge on how dependable, reliable, stable, etc. And also in terms of convergence, as we were saying earlier, like we deal with complexity. So even when we talk about interoperability protocols, what does it mean? And can you share it in 30 minutes on a Zoom call? So I think one of the feedbacks that we get, for example, from Elliot from Global Unity and the founder of Global Unity and Transformative Global, is that it could have taken us 6 months on a Zoom, on remote calls to get in where we are, what we achieved in 10 days, basically, of him staying here. And of course, time is also an essence when it comes to convergence and creating change. But then I would say in terms also of other practical aspects, like what are the outcomes, concrete, that are coming out of the villa? And of course, we're talking about hive mind. So how can we develop infrastructure for coordination? Because we know that despite us wanting to collaborate and coordinate, all of us, do we have the right infrastructure? Can we coordinate this complexity on WhatsApp groups or Telegram groups alone? Exactly. It doesn't seem so. And having a podcast space also allows us to share in real time what Victor from the Gathering of Tribes says, build in public. So instead of building it and then sharing it, we are building it. So why not doing it in public?
And if you're watching this and you're hearing about things you're working on, you want to contribute to, like, this is us reaching out, opening up. We're here, we're together, we're one team, we're collaborating. Team humanity, you know.
Team humanity, I love that, yeah. Team hurt. Also the other species. Oh, yeah.
Julia, what do you see unfolding from here, and why should people stay connected, stay tuned in, subscribe, follow, see the next episodes, and stay connected with the unfolding here? What is it that you see emerging as we move forward?
Well, what's taking place at the Villa Gaia, certainly systemic change, regeneration being lived and worked on. And that is reflected in the Villa Gaia Sessions. I think this is a challenge that we've all been observing over all of these years, that there are many fabulous solutions that are being worked on, and that there's a lot going on in the regenerative movement or in the space of systemic change, but we don't really know about it. And most of us are actually surprised when we get to a conference or an unconference or gathering and like, wow, this is epic. All of these people and projects, like we're really moving forward. But we need to go to these physical spaces to truly find out about it. Or we're in Zoom calls and such, but there's no place to actually get more of an overview of the sense of what is going on. And also how to activate yourself, how to get involved, how you as a person or your organization fits in and can create synergy from this. And so tuning into the sessions here and finding out what your place is in that is massively valuable.
Yeah. One of the things that we are actually just talking about at the kitchen table. Yeah, one precisely. Yeah, those in between moments where sometimes the most important things get discussed is, we moved in here because we just know being physically together with the right people is very powerful, and we got openness to seeing what exactly wants to emerge here. Now, 1.5 months in, and a few visitors in, and a lot of connections, ideas, insights, plus the AI hive mind, like a new, spin-off prototype idea coming out. The puzzle pieces are slowly starting to land, and it almost seems like we're getting ready to formulate, let's say, a blueprint for the foundation of this new regenerative ecosystem, with some of the puzzle pieces I mentioned earlier, with an idea of who are the contributing parties, with clear invitations for other organizations to plug in and contribute. Same for investors, same for fellows, a fellowship program that we're formulating on how to get involved in this formulation of the foundation for all these new system solutions that are forming.
Yeah, absolutely. And these, in a way, what we are calling it in the workshop, kind of systemic altruism. So how can we make sure that all of us, with our time and resources, not just philanthropists, because also our time and resources, in a way, have to be allocated effectively. Like, are we making sure that this is the best use of the time and resources and capital that we can ever conceive, in a way? And so... sorry, you were saying.
Oh no, I was listening. I was just thinking, what more is there that we want to share right now? I feel we touched upon all the key points. We're in the process of formulating a membership so that people can tune in, stay connected. We have a lot of materials to be shared. We may soon have the hive mind that people can tune into.
The foundation dashboard, where we are starting to integrate the gathering, quorum, transformative, all the dozens of partners and networks into one, in a way, ecosystem, where with just one entry point, everyone can then have access to all the needs and services and offers and opportunities that this ecosystem can provide. But yeah, what else to add? Well, if anything, as we were saying, if you're seeing this video, get in touch with us. We are here to collaborate and to converge. So yeah, let's do it. And if someone also has another space that wants to activate, that could be we can take the blueprints that we are carefully learning, modeling, and improving here, and that we can export it in so many other places, creating hubs where people can live, work, thrive, collaborate, and also in a way doing it in a more sustainable way, financially, health-wise, because also financially, this is one thing that we have looked at. I mean, this place is not super expensive. I mean, it makes more sense financially for all of us to live here in a very nice space, which costs us maybe 50% or 70% less than if you were living in Amsterdam, or if I was living in Singapore or Dubai, or if you were living in Berlin. So, yeah, that's an invitation as well.
And that's a really interesting point you're touching upon, is other spaces. You know, we're working on the blueprints here. From moment one, we started getting structured, organized, Notion, team board, team meetings, roles, etc. So the blueprints are emergence. And Julia already met, was it last month? You met somebody who said, yeah, I inherited this castle in the north of Italy. I don't really know what to do with it. Can you share a bit more also to maybe trigger listeners to get ideas about what may be out there?
And what's the minimum size as well of a space?
What's the minimum size, right? Yeah, I think community and this kind of intentional, purpose-focused community can be anything, right? It's whatever we want to make of it. And so there are also many places or spaces that are suitable for this kind of project. We certainly want to have enough space. So right now we have 13 bedrooms. Realizing this is really quite the minimum to have functional teams at place, and also space for a media room, for example, and give everyone space to breathe as well as coming together. We have 3 kitchens, 3 living rooms, right? All of that gives everyone here too the space to come together whenever is desired and needed, and also stay in our own zone when we need to be in there. The castle is a great example. People are looking for us and are looking for these kind of solutions, using a beautiful space for purpose. It doesn't have to be a castle, though. We're also okay with a penthouse in New York.
You can settle.
A villa by the beach in Bali, or any other space really that is capable of hosting people for living and for working. What we do realize is that nature, that our connection to the natural environment here is absolutely magical. It's nurturing. There are no car noises around here. Right? We hear the birds tweet. When you walk out of the villa, you're in the olive groves. We have clear night skies. We have really fresh air to breathe. People come here and have the best sleep they've ever had.
Yeah.
It's truly nurturing, and like the sense of personal well-being actually allows us to show up for the work that we're here to do, right? To be high performing. So this is certainly something we would be looking at for any other hub. While there's also value in being very central, speaking of New York, right? Having a hub in New York brings in a lot of opportunity and possibility too. So every opportunity needs to be looked on and weighed out individually. But yeah, there's a lot we can work with, I would say.
I agree. And then interconnecting all these hubs and spaces, because that's part of the infrastructure. I mean, the big part of our work is all this digital infrastructure. So how can we create a network, a mycelium network of hubs and talents and people? And of course, it doesn't have to be just a living place. It can be just a working space, for example, in New York. So absolutely, I would say for anyone that has spaces, absolutely, let's activate, because to have convergence, we need to get together. We need to physically get together. Not always, not all the time, but at least for certain periods of time. That part is key.
That's it. I feel we have a beautiful first impression of both Villa Gaia and the podcast Villa Gaia Sessions. And if you like what you're hearing, if this resonates, if your heart is doing a little happy dance, like, hey, these people get it, these are my people, make sure to stay connected. Follow, subscribe, depending on what channel you're watching now. Just a quick flash forward. I know we already recorded some epic conversations. You can expect really in-depth conversations with topic experts. For example, on the topic of event hosting, fundraising for the regenerative movement. There's been an in-depth interview with an economist on the topics of governance and fund allocation. Missing any example here?
And infrastructure as well. Like, yeah, we were saying like coordination, infrastructure, gatherings as well. So how multiple containers. So for example, Elliot was mentioning, these, what they're doing is about 250 people. Then the gathering is about 500 people. And then other containers that are 50 people and 15 people containers in a way. So I would say also, yeah, of course, that, and there is more.
Yeah, there's going to be so much more. Also, if there's specific topics you'd like us to zoom in on, please share, leave comments, get in touch. As shared, we are here. Any final thoughts?
Thank you guys for being epic, for co-creating this while we're doing it. And it's a great pleasure and honor to be walking with you, with all of the team, and have these inspired, intelligent, capable, such diverse leaders come in and share space and wisdom and co-create so meaningfully.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Really, really good stuff.
I have to say as well, yeah, like when we were sharing dinner, that day I was looking around, I was saying, wow, I'm so blessed to be surrounded by people that get it, that we are all here with one purpose, the oneness. I don't need to, simply pretend in a way that we're just collaborating, but rather seeing, yes, we are moving as one organism. Yes, so beautiful. And yeah, I didn't think, and I didn't stop enough to think about it and appreciate it. So thank you.
So I would say to close off in the words of our beautiful switchboard operator, Yannick.
Which is going to switch places for a later session for the high mind.
Yannick, words?
Let's go.
Thank you guys.
Cheers.
Good stuff.